Hello, and welcome back to MrDudeManSir. I'm streaming more Everlasting Summers this time. I'm going to go on Ulyana. I'm looking up a walkthrough. I'll probably leave it in the description for you to follow along so you know the choices I had to take to get to where I am going to be in the future. And I realized after clicking on the cafeteria at one point, it induces new dialogue that I need to read and stuff. So yeah, let's do it! Nonetheless, I decided to go have lunch. The checklist isn't gonna run away. I'll get assigned later if, I don't have canoodles with Ulyana. Well, my stomach clearly will not wait till dinner. With these thoughts, I entered in the canteen. There was almost nobody inside, except Ulyana probably. A lunch lady of impressive proportions provided me with a glorious meal of 3 dishes. A soup of oh my gosh broth, a goulash from Ventipovlich, a garnish with potatoes and boiling according to the craziest fashions of 15th century and periodic table compots. That was really Russian-filled sentence right there. Hardly a menu 5-star restaurant would envy, but I was too hungry to care. It's a lot better than eating bugs. After all, compared to my usual meal of ramen and macaroni and cheese, this one indeed wasn't very bad. I sat at the nearest table and concentrated while chewing on my food, while probably Ulyana smacked me in the head. My focus was soon disturbed by a sudden, mighty slap on my back. I even choked and nearly died. Ulyana was standing in front of me, and she looked like she was very content with herself. I'll choke the life out of you one day. Catch me if you can. She stuck her tongue out. You tried once and couldn't. Alright, then I'll ambush you from the bushes. That's not fair. Look who's talking, Mrs. Fairplay. I grinned. Okay, you wait. I'll get some food and come back. We'll eat together. She definitely wants my D. Probably. I do. I could do without such company. Better hurry up with my lunch. However, Ulyana came back just after a half a minutia. She had a huge roast beef on her plate and a few large boiled potatoes. Compared to my royal feast. Where do you get that? You gotta know my places. She looked at me and grinned with all her 32. Oh, however many teeth she had, teeth. Coolsies. That was a little bit weird. I won't stand for this! Even though I'm sitting down at a lunch table. I never was master of pranks, and in school I often found myself on the bullied side. But I had to get back at her somehow. What if Olga Dmitrievna finds out that you're stealing food? Oh, I'm not stealing, she flared up. That's what you're going to tell her. That's what you're going to? I warn her she'll believe you. You miscreant. And how would she know? Well, that depends on many things. Like what? Ulyana looked me in the eyes. Bring me a bun. A sweet one. Only the best. Where am I gonna get it? Well, the same place where you got all this. I pointed at her plate. She hesitated. Alright, 1 bun coming up. And promise you won't tell Olga Dmitrievna, she says with probably the most scared face I've seen in my entire life. You have the word of a pioneer, I salute you. She ran off towards the kitchen. Without hesitating, I opened the pepper box and emptied it into her drink. Because I am amazing. Just as I finished, the restless girl came back. Here, you racketeer. Looks like she didn't even notice. Okay, now who drinks his compote last carries trays. Don't be silly, you silly dog. You watch me do it, because I'm a silly man. I won't play these childish games, even though I'm like 2 years old. Look who's talking. I smiled maliciously. Huh, you watch me then. 1, 2, 3! She didn't even oh, okay. Glass, not okay. She didn't even let me grab my glass. And in one quick motion, she drank it. And now she's angry or possibly died. Safe to assume she probably just died. In just 1 second, her expression changed to that of an authentic terror. Her cheeks went red and her eyes were about to pop out. Wow. That's a little bit intense. What did I even do to that drink? Did I, poison it with some sort of weird chemical? She jumped from the table and rushed to the table with drinking water, spitting and yelling as she went. You. I decided not to wait for her and went outside, giggling to myself as she finished my bun. But while I did it, because I'm an amazing person. So I just lost Ulyana during the card game, and of course this choice here that I always think does not matter whatsoever. I need to click the scene button here. This thing, I meet Ulyana. So let's induce ourselves into this. The events of the past day kept flashing brightly in my head. That stupid, useless checklist, this foolish tournament. Tonight I had no intention of doing anything or talking to anybody. Probably other than Ulyana, because she's gonna be here. The investigation of my complicated situation was the last thing on earth I could ever think about doing this evening. I headed to the north. At least that's where I thought it was. It was my habit from youth to go north. I like this part of my hometown more than the southern districts. Traveling to the Black Sea resorts was never my thing either. Boundless forests and fields were much closer to me than breeches and bark hands? Bark hands. And look, this is the stage that, what's her face? The guitar chick was here. But now it's gonna be, oh, whoopsie, go back. Several minutes later, an open stage consisting of wooden branches and stuff before my eyes. I climbed on it, started doing my air guitar. So much varied musical equipment, loudspeakers, a microphone stand, and even a piano. I imagined a crowd of people in front of me, everyone screaming, shouting my name, myself blinded in the spotlights. I imagined a guitar, I knew it! Air guitar! I suppose it looked pretty funny from a stranger's point of view. A weird guy swinging his arms on stage, jumping around like an ape and making faces. I hope no one can see me here. Hey. I piped up from somewhere above. I looked up and saw Ulyana hanging over the beam under the stage ceiling. What are you doing here? I'm just, denial is obviously futile, of course, because she's Spider-Man. You saw it, didn't you? I said in frustration and turned away. Well, I guess I must kill you. Okay, no? No, it's a different route. She must kill me later time. Oh, I see a wasted guitar talent in you. I said nothing. But I already learned guitar from Miku. You're way behind. Hey, come on, don't frown. It was funny enough. She giggled. Funny enough, eh? I huffed. Yep. Ulyana answered calmly. Just a yep. Come up here, dude. Become Spider-Man with me. To me, she says. I ain't gonna get up there. Don't even try to convince me. Not that I have a fear of heights, it's just that climbing up here is pointless, isn't it? No. Get here. I felt in my bones that something was going wrong, but still slowly headed her way. When I found myself standing under Ulyana, she cried out, "Catch me!" And then there's a panty shot. And jumped! Thousands of thoughts flashed through my mind in an instant. How could I catch her? Is it worth trying? What if she dies? What if she breaks my something? What in the heck has happened to me? He didn't even comment on the panty shot of like a 2-year-old girl. That's her own fault. No more fooling around. What a number of thoughts come and go within a blink of an eye. And sometimes many years are not enough to come up with a single idea. Sure. Now, at long last, logic and self-preservation instinct won the battle, and I stepped back and let her fall on the ground. Ulyana landed gently somehow, tumbled and instantly jumped to her feet and looked at me with offense. Holy moly! Why did you not catch me, you baka? You didn't get hurt, did you? I answered, shifting my glance. What if I did, though? But you didn't, you know, you silly goose. What's up with you? Watched too many B-movies recently? What's a B-movie? Give me 1 second to Google that. I just realized the B-movie is just a very low-quality movie. So like those cheesy, scary movies or movies that look like they're recorded in someone's bathtub, those are B-movies. So cool. So you don't care about me? She says while winking at me with one eye. She grinned. Well, in this situation, certainly I do care. I'm flattered. Hey, don't get any kinky ideas here. Okay. You're forgiven for the cards. And you are not, I say. You beat me too hard, I am sad. I had no time to finish the sentence. Ulyana jumped off the stage and vanished in the dark of the night. Yep, one more childish trick from the silly girl. Sure, I was worrying about her at the moment. As for anyone else in her place... After once again cursing Ulyana in my mind, I headed towards the cabin. And probably slept. So now, because I'm gonna go and be Ulyana's little, bae, I have to actually help her clean up and do work. So that's a bummer. Nah, running away is probably a very good idea. For starters, Olga Dmitrievna's caught me already, and dashing off would only make me not have to work. As well as that, I was indeed partially guilty. Of course it was all her fault, though, but if I hadn't reacted like that, probably would be avoided the slashing. Probably. I opened the cabinet and took out a broom, a mop, and a dustpan. Olga Dmitrievna wasn't anywhere near Ulyana by the time I returned. She's gone? ? Can't you see for yourself she's, not here? Ulyana looked upset. All her youthful spirit was not even there. It's gone. Okay, hang on a second. I'll go wash myself a bit first. I shot an angry glance and headed towards the exit. I washed the scraps of lunch off myself and returned to the canteen. Well, no escaping it. We had to clean up. It's all because of you. You baka. Just a single gaze from her gave me the creeps. Of course it is. It's me who's guilty of everything. Not you at all. It's you. It's me who's the local hazard. Oh, shut up. Still, it's kind of strange that she's not trying to avoid the cleanup duty. Ulyana had a solid opportunity to run away and leave me alone, but somehow she did the exact opposite, diligently gathering broken plate fragments and mopping the floor, picking up chairs and tables. She is so into me. In fact, she was so fast that I had a tough time keeping up with her. Well now, aren't you, suddenly acting all goody-goody? It's not like I want to spend the whole day here, you dork. You baka. She still sounded irritated. Listen, you gotta understand that you can't behave like that. At least not such an you can't do it. For some reason I decided to try and give her a moral lecture. I haven't done nothing. It was you who was calling me names. Ulyana grabbed a bucket and a mop and went through the farthest corner of the canteen. Looks like she's still very angry. Looking back at the mountain of broken tableware, I finally began to understand that the scope of the catastrophe. We're lucky that at least the forks and spoons are made of metal. We still have something to eat with. But there are hardly any plates left. Hey, Ulyana called me with a shout. I went over to her. I don't get it. Why do you hate me so much? Her face became so serious that I was ready to believe that it wasn't just yet another trick of hers. No tricks up her sleeves. Why do you think so? I have no idea. That's exactly why I'm asking you. I don't hate you, says the robot from Portal 2. It just says sometimes you behave like, well, as simple as that, but still true. Like what? I have no idea. She lifted her gaze to me, boiling with curiosity. Well, for starters, what's the big idea in pouring the compound all over me? You were asking for it. She smiled at the first time since we started cleaning. Yeah, sure. I heaved a deep sigh. So what do you expect from others, then? Nothing, she replied acidly. The discussion was over, so I continued cleaning up in silence. Ain't that a pain in the acid? I took a few hours to fix up the canteen. Well, at least all the broken tableware was gone. Chairs and tables were in their designed places, and the floor looked clean. We were sitting together with Ulyana next to the food counter, breathing heavily and deserved resting. Now you see how much effort has to be put in because of this silly trick. But I'm not tired at all. I'm full of energy. We could do anything. Though the sweat pouring down her face told the opposite story. Oh well, good for you. So what are we gonna do next? I don't know about you, but I'd rather go. No, that's not all. You have to... She hesitated. To help me with another little thing. Thinking of another silly prank, are you? You bet. She was smiling broadly. I'm not your man here. I'm more fed up with this one punishment for today. Okay, here's the beans. If you help me now, there won't be any more pranks ever. Sure, that was an inviting prospect, but somehow I couldn't bring myself to trust Ulyana even for a moment. Well, it wouldn't hurt to ask. So what's your cunning plan? We're gonna steal candy. What? I should have expected something like that. Candy is for kids, but she is a kid. It's either that or maybe the anime is making her look like she's like 2 when she's actually like 50. Or something of that prospect. Soon the chef will go out to dump the trash. Nobody's gonna see us. Count me out. No candy for me. I don't even like chocolate. Whatever. She grunted and turned away. Then I'll do it myself. I also won't... I couldn't even finish the sentence, as Ulyana already jumped over the counter, ran to the cabinet, opened the door, and started rummaging for all the sweet candies. Hey, cut that! It's not like you haven't got enough problems with Olga Dmitrievna. She didn't even reply, that baka. You won't even get away with just cleaning duty for something like that. Ulyana closed the cabinet. She held a huge bag of candy in her hands. She found the jackpot. She stuck out her tongue at me and dashed off to the back door. I couldn't just leave it at that. I darted off in pursuit. She could not take the candy alone. Sure, the girl had quite a head start, but I still funneled all my energy into the chase. I won't lose her again, 'cause I'm fast. We ran through the square. We ran through the music club. We ran through the forest. I almost caught Ulyana when she stopped abruptly. I couldn't pull up as sharply, so I crashed into her, sending us sprawling on the ground. We rolled around on the grass. And I got her. I gave a victorious shout. She actually looks much older in this version or picture of her. She's also wearing like one of those like shoulder shirts where it just leans down half of her shirt because it's too baggy or something like that. I gave a victorious shout though. Huzzah! No, you didn't. She replied with an ashamed tone. Ulyana was lying on. Oh dear. Yep. I should have expected some sort of ecchi scene to come up. Her face was right next to mine though. I felt an erratic breathing and heat of her body. Sure, right now she's the only child, but soon enough she'll be. Oh dear. Is that innuendoist for something? I was pretty embarrassing. It was. Oh dear, everyone was thinking it. You gonna rape me? She said, coming back to her senses. No. Okay. Do you want me to? Anyway, it was more like a game to her. Sure do. She gave a cunning smile and snorted quietly. Or is it just my imagination? I'm not really in the mood. Whatever. Ulyana reached up a bit and bit me on the nose. I wasn't expecting that and even pulled back a little. Now she's back to her like 2-year-old self. Just a moment of hesitation was enough for her to wrestle out and run a dozen feet away. Watch it! You're gonna regret this later. Goodbye. She laughed out loud and disappeared. Literally disappeared because she's not on my screen anymore, into the woods. The candy bag was left lying on the ground near me. I wonder if she dropped it on purpose. I'm getting near dinner time, so I had to hurry up and return the candy. And preferably, very preferably, stay under the radar. Of course I'll explain the situation. It was Ulyana who had stolen them. But who's gonna believe me? I'm the candy thief. Oh, we're to meet Jeff that was already waiting for me at the entrance of the canteen. Good job, Semyon. You're a stand-up guy. I hid the bag of sweets behind my back. The bag was transparent and too big to put in my pocket. I was talking about the cleanup. Everything is clean and very tidy. Well, yeah. And where is Ulyana? I wish I knew. She'll come soon. Okay then, go and have your dinner. Great. I entered the canteen. To utter lack of surprise, it was full. Coolsies, now I really don't know how to return the bag without being noticed. Sure, I could do it in the evening, but what do I do with it now? Eat it. You could eat it. Semyon! I turned around, Slavia was in front of me. Wow, what's that? I looked up, she looked at it, and didn't even manage to hide it in time. Caught red-handed, or more like sweet-handed. Puns. Time to prepare for a scolding. These are, sweets. Where from? I stole them, dang it. I got them from Ulyana. Oh, I see. Same old song and dance? What do you mean? It's not the first time she's stolen sweets. And why am I not surprised? Let me handle this. Thanks. Slavia saved the day again. Super Slavia for the win. She took the bag and headed to the buffet. I had no desire to listen to what she was going to say while returning the sweets, so I had started to look around the canteen looking for a place to sit. It seems that we'll have to share a dinner table with Electronic and Shurik. There were no more places at all. Hi. Every time I had to deal with them, I got an itching desire to tease them, or at least drop some cheeky or cocky banter. It might be too risky to behave that. Is this new? It is still new. Coolsies. It might be too risky to behave in that way, but Electronic Brothers' primary source, positive emotions. How you doing? Fine. You? Hits and misses. The usual. Did something happen? Lots. Mind sharing? Nah. I'm good. He made a helpless gesture. We're going to the ball. Electronic giggled. I know. Coolsies, wanna ask someone? I hadn't thought. What about you? Well, it seemed questioned off guard him. Ask Ulyana, that would make her happy. No thanks. Electronic furiously waved his hands, in that weird manner he usually does. And you, Shurik, you gotta ask Alyssa out. Thanks, I'll pass. You look calmer than his mate. Oh, come on, guys, it would be so sugoi. And in any case, we've got things to do, like work on our Neko robot. We still have... Yeah, exactly! Oh, that's a marvelous idea. Ask your robot out. Can it dance? It can't even walk. That's a disgrace to Neko kind everywhere. Shurik probably missed the point completely. Why, it would be a great demonstration of our achievements in front of the camp. But what would we show to them? Yeah, you're right. They both stared at their plates disappointedly because they are failures at making Neko robots. Is this new? It is still new. Oh my gosh. So many dots. Dinner was over and the pioneers started to disperse. It's coolsies. What will you wear for the ball? I asked Shurik and Electronic. We don't have anything special. We go as we are, in our pioneer uniform. He indicated, yes, I know. They don't seem to care about their appearance at all. They're just cool. Well, why should I care then? Who needs a tuxedo? It's the 80s. Wearing my winter clothes isn't an option, so I'll just go like this. When does it start? After 9 o'clock. Got it. I'll be there, or I'll be square. I remember those rare dances I used to go at school. Oh my, whoopsie. Hesitation, insecurity, even fear. I couldn't dance. I didn't know how to react if someone invited me. I wouldn't dare to invite someone myself. Oh no, I felt pretty uncomfortable about it. And it was even more unpleasant to watch others having fun. It wasn't envy. More like it was disconcerting feeling that people were able to enjoy something so odd for me. I thought there were still lots of time till the ball so I could sleep and get fresh in the evening. Entering the camp leader's cabin, I flopped into the bed and instantly shut my eye holes. Strangely enough, I got right up on time, even without an alarm that probably does not even exist at this time period. The clock was showing 9. Such a rare thing to happen. I felt sluggish, though. Probably it wasn't the best idea to sleep during the day after all, but I have to go to Narnia. In a couple of minutes I was standing at the square. The loudspeakers and some DJ equipment were installed near the monument, and the trees were decorated with light strings. Ah, typical country belle. Lots of pioneers were around, but no familiar faces, so I just sat on the bench and waited. I don't have to dance after all. Coolsies. Maybe I'll just be able to sit and chat with someone. Hey there, sad face. Ulyana. Here to suggest something? Come on, let's dance. It's way too early, though. There isn't even any music yet. Blah, you're so boring. Yeah, I'm not the merriest person for such an event. She ran away. You get back here, or I'll chase you down again. And maybe rape you this time. I cannot even say that with a straight face. So Ulyana did wear something like an evening dress. Pretty funny. Hi. Slavia. Hey. She sat down by my side. How's the evening? Cool. Why sad? I'm not. Well, dancing cool. Maybe. Don't forget. Dance me. She laughed and ran towards the musical equipment. The situation was getting serious. I wouldn't even be able to sit through the entire dance party. Hi. When it came closer? Oh, hi. Isn't that such a wonder? Yes. Okay. Gonna light this party up? The joke fell flat. She laughed. She blushed. Left. Well, maybe that's not the best idea, setting things on fire. That's terrible. Okay. Then I'll guess I'll... Yeah. Is this like some sort of check mark? Like, you did not get this girl. You did not get this girl. You got Ulyana is next. Maybe? No. Did I fail something? The whole camp was at the square. The pioneers formed large groups, talked and laughed. At the DJ's panel, Ulyana! Arguing. And here it is. The music, the lights, the action. The music started to play. I didn't know how the band or the song, but if you ask me, I really felt that I'd tag as Soviet pop classics. The pioneers just stood there for some time as if not hearing the music. It's always hard not to make the first step. It is so hard. So hard. Especially if you're pretty sure that you will only be the only one who could take it. Ulyana seemed not to grasp the simple truth. She reached the entire center of the square with a few bounds and cried out loud, "Why are you standing around?" and started to wiggle ridiculously. Wiggle is the exact word. You couldn't find a better one. I looked so silly and funny that I couldn't even resist laughing out loud. She noticed it. Hey, Semyon. I pretended I could not hear her. Stop pretending, get over here! I kept ignoring her. The pioneers slowly realized that they weren't too sexy for this party and started to dance. I looked really silly from my point of view. A whoopsie! Whoops! Whoops. Shaking one's arms and legs to the beat of a long-forgotten hit? Hey, come on, get real. Who wants fake things? Of course I couldn't dance at all, but this thing couldn't be called a dance either. Hey, Semyon, what are you sitting there for? Says Slavia. Don't you want to dance? I was so deep in thoughts that I hadn't even noticed. Am I going to dance with her and get, like, Ulyana super jelly of me? I hope so. Maybe even with peanut butter. Oh, that's great. Not really. Are you sure? She smiled. Maybe later. Dang, what am I even doing here? Slavia left. Goodbye, everybody. I probably should not refuse her after everything she did for me. But I wasn't made for such activities. Oh dear, this is a new CG. That looks actually quite cool. I like how Ulyana has boobs in this picture. It's like the only girl with boobs in this picture. Oh dear, and this is the only time. Okay, doesn't make any sense. But coolsies, they danced. At least they like the ball. Oh, good to meet you at the dance too. considered that not really appropriate. The leader was keeping order ground, especially since she is not 17. Olga Dmitrievna came over to me as if she felt that someone doubted her professionalism. Hi. Why are you not dancing? I don't want to. Your choice. She smiled cunningly. Then I have a perfect task. Go do it. A task? Which is? Another activity seemed better than dancing. You cleaned the canteen well today, but I think you haven't fully atoned yet. Ah? Ulyana! What? Come here. Ulyana came to us very reluctantly. I see you have had enough dancing for a long time to come. No, I could dance for ebbs. She was sweating like a pig, so it seemed that the leader was right. I have a task for you and Semyon. But Olga Dmitrievna, Ulyana begged. It's dance time, and it's late. It won't take much time. Slavy was sorting the books in the library, but hasn't finished. You only have a couple of shelves to do, but... No buts! Do it! For goodness sake. I don't like public work, but dancing? Oh, I'm ready. Good job, Semyon. That's my boy. A real pioneer. You should go do this. Example, Ulyana, do it. Ulyana didn't appreciate such an example, though. So do it. The whole camp is relying on you. I'll remember this. I am Batman. She hissed. The camp in the evening was beautiful. Silence and peace calmed me. Only the distant music from the square reminded that I am not alone here. And Ulyana who just came back. You could do the clearing in your dress, though. The cleaning. I grinned. This is all your fault. You're rude. She breathed heavily and her face was red as a tomato, so I wouldn't have been surprised if steam started to come out of her ears. I would, 'cause that'd be kind of weird. It is all your fault. Why me again? If only you'd just been quiet. What would that have changed and stuff? She'd make us do it anyway. She wasn't able to speak normally and just hissed. So what if I kept silent? Do you think she would let you keep having on fun? Ulyana looked at me. She seemed to calm down a bit. Really? You don't even care about me at all. You can't even dance. So what if I can't? If you had danced with me, it would have been fun. Super Sugoi. She returned to her usual childlike mode. I might have. But you see how things turned out. We won't have a chance to see who is better dancer. Unless we dance during the library, which is probably gonna happen. We approached the library. It was, dark and stuff. It was slightly surprised by Olga Dmitrievna's request. Or more like an order. To sort books at night. This is so bizarre. There was no light inside and the switch did not work, unpleasantly clicking with every push. It might have actually worked properly, but the lights weren't turning on. Wait, I'll get the candles, we can do it. Because this is like the 80s, and we have candles on the standby. I was just about to ask how she knows what candles and matches are, when two small lights appeared on the table next to me. That's better, Ulyana said, satisfied with herself. She's like the Ayumi of an everlasting summer. She's always carrying around candles now. Ulyana said, satisfied with herself. What's next? What's next? What's next? Yeah, what's next? Next. She looked at me inquiringly. What will we do next? How should I know? She chuckled. Great. I walked around the bookcases. Olga Dmitrievna said something about a couple of shelves. I touched the books and made sure that there was no dust on them. It looked as if someone really did a good job before us, which is probably Slavia. Having examined the whole library, I didn't find anything clean. Anything too clean. The leader must have made a mistake. Suddenly I heard footsteps from behind. An old cracked door was squeaking, so Ulyana wasn't able to sneak up on me unnoticed. Boo! I turned around. Oh my god, you were so scared. Oh my, I almost wet myself. Oh, whatever. She turned away resentfully. It looks really clean in here, so... The dimly illuminated rows of books looked at me reproachfully. Unknown authors from long-forgotten years. I wonder if anyone still remembers them. Jenya must remember. I'm sure that she remembers, like, everything. And stuff. Okay, sit down. I'll tell you a story. Ulyana moved the chair over to me. I sat on it. So what's next? Let's tell scary stories. We have like 2 chairs, 2 candles, 2 stories, 1 mine, yours. Okay. I agree without thinking. I hadn't the slightest intention of going back to the dance, and going by my experience, there was nothing to do in the camp at night. Especially as I knew a couple of nice stories that would be really cool, scare. And that was awesome. And Sugoi. You first. Okay, I'm ready. Prepared. She made herself comfortable as the wax from the candle dripped on her hands and burnt it insanely. For some reason, she's carrying it in her hand. She made herself comfortable, embraced the chair's back with her arms, and moved the candle as close to her face as possible. Once upon a time, in a village far away, lived a boy. Just a normal boy. He went to school, played with other children. There was nothing special about him, but he was so ugly everybody died. The end. One day he made a bet with his friend that he wasn't scared to go to the abandoned house. Ulyana left a long pause. So, what was in the house? Don't interrupt me! Inventing is on the fly. She lips and continued. They say a witch have lived in the house and people still see her ghost there at night. Nobody knew for sure, but everybody was scared. The boy had said that it was all nonsense, and he was ready to spend the whole night there. So he did. But he didn't return in the morning. He was found hanged. Ulyana stopped talking again. Thrilling. Did he hang himself with his shoelaces? Cool. I said skeptically. She frowned again. Is that the end? Of course not! Let me finish! They buried the boy. There it was supposed to be. The coffin and stuff. His relatives and friends grieved, but they couldn't bring him back. After a few days, people started to disappear in the village. Nobody knew how or why. They just vanished, and this seems like a bit like Miku's end. Miku's thing. The villagers wanted to call the police, but a friend of that boy who hanged himself in the witch's house told him that he'd been seen the boy. Nobody believed him at first, but people kept disappearing. This definitely seems like Lena's route, but except for the person who hanged himself. Then the villagers decided to dig up the coffin. There were long nail scratches inside the lid, but there was no body. Where did he go? Ulyana moved the candle away from her and made a scary face, or at least what she thought was scary. In the end, all the villagers appeared, and the occasional passerby near the witch's house could tell they saw 2 ghosts. Ulyana blew out a candle and stopped talking. Wonderful. Nice clap. I applauded. Encore. Not quite Pulitzer Prize worthy. Is that like some sort of big book medal thing? Probably. Are you scared? Frightened? I'm shivering like all over. I nearly had a panic attack. Oh, whatever. Tell your story then. I'm sure it won't even flinch. I collected my thoughts and decided to tell a story I read on the blog of my acquaintance of mine a few months back. Had to acquire all the story essences. He was quite a good storyteller, at least I liked his style, so success was guaranteed. I certainly didn't remember the story word for word, so I told it with my own words. There is a faraway space station, the last boundary of humanity, located on the border with a hostile civilization, the 3rd month of the ceasefire. It can't really be called a ceasefire, more like not a war. A small group of survivors is exhausted by a long siege. On one hand, they can't retreat, leaving the outpost. On the other hand, they understand that they won't even last a minute if the enemy attacks. Despair is the best word to describe their situation. The food is running out. There is ammo only for a few shots, which is only seemed like greeting fireworks. There is only plenty of air in the water. What? Oh, okay. Air in the water, but it's actually air in water. There is only plenty of air and water, owing to the regeneration systems. People didn't talk to each other for weeks at a time. They may just not see the point of wasting their time on communication while death is at the door. Or behind meters thick station armor, to be precise. It's really better just to wait for the rescue of the enemy's attack. Both outcomes would lead to the end of this torture. This situation looks like a chess game against an invisible opponent. It's the hardest part, endgame. Any wrong move will lead to defeat. Yours or your enemy's. But does the enemy know about it? They may be afraid of making the wrong move too. Meanwhile, the humans may move their king, but only one square forward and one square back again. Any other move will automatically lead to defeat. A step forward was an implied threat to attack, and a step backward is a deliberate necessity of defense. This game would be much easier if the opponent was sitting in front of you. Even an experienced chess player can't hide the nervous eye movements, the occasional drop of sweat and shaking hands. On the one hand, everything is futile. Everyone realizes that the situation is hopeless, because no one would decide to make a move to escape the imminent defeat. On the other hand, when seeing the opponent in front of you, understanding that he is only like you can make a mistake, you can more easily mistake his stuff. Oh man. I'm getting there. I'm getting tired again, just a bit. Oh dear. Hey look, there's more messages. Messages deleted, message deleted. There's a lot of messages deleted. Oh dear. I'm just making sure that there's no, like, quality issues. Just to make sure. Clat was cleared. Coolsies. Stop being demod. Okay, so it's all going fine. By the way, I believe there's a fourth person in here watching. Hey, there's Static Impulse and Andia. So we have two other people other than Brecky here. So that's cool. They're just like being ninja viewers. I love that, people. So I'll go back to it now. My voice is a little bit rugged. On the other hand, when seeing the opponent in front of you, understanding that he is totally like you and can make a mistake, you can more easily stake everything. The opponent may feel the same difficulties. These are the circumstances of few men and women on the edge of the universe. There were no orders from headquarters for several days. The last orders had contained nothing useful, only the useful demand to keep on defending. One square forward, one square backward, the swinging of an eternal pendulum. At the beginning of the 4th month, the commander decides to retreat. He reasoned that the lives of his shoulders are more important... Lives? The lives... They all have lives. He reasoned that the lives of his shoulders are more important than the mystical ideals of humanity. No one will judge him for this. Moreover, they can't change anything. The preparations don't take much time. The greatest asset you can save from sinking ship is your life. The whole station crew aboard the rescue vessel. The launch sequence starts. 3, 2, 1. And nothing. The bay doors don't open. They send mechanics to check for malfunctions, but they don't find anything. The doors should open, but they don't open the second time, or the third time. The commander orders his crew to leave the station in rescue pods, but they can't launch either. They explain it's technical malfunctions. The crew tries to communicate with the headquarters in vain. After a few days, the executive officer noticed that there is nothing on the radars. Nothing at all. No planets, no asteroids, no enemy ships, just endless darkness. They run out of food in a month. Everybody thinks that this is the end. But no one dies. Not after a day, a week, not even after a month. As if there is no need for food to sustain human life. At this moment, the majority of the crew goes insane. Some of them stay in the rooms and pray. Some wander on the station. Some try to commit suicide. But neither point-blank shots with a plasma gun, nor a hydro tank diving, nor even simply slitting the veins brings any results. Days pass by, months, or maybe even years. Nobody keeps track of time. Insane people recover their minds again, and normal people go insane. It repeats many times. In the end, the crew accepts its condition. They start to make up occupations. Theatrical staging, sports tournaments, reading off self-written books. A lot of family couples appear and many more break up. It's an infinite flow of time, and a closed loop of human life, and only the darkness of the radar reminds them of emptiness outside. But there is an emptiness inside the station too. In the end, people stop living. They just lie in the rooms and sleep. Not 24/7 at first, but as the time goes by, they learn to fall into a trance. Every person has his own dreams. One returns to his childhood, one gets his love back. One defends his ideals of humanity with a blaster in his hands. Some others just wander in space. Shabby from skirmishes with the enemy, a rescue vessel docks with the station. The boarding station gets inside. The whole station looks like a pierce of scrap metal which is lost. The whole situation looks like a piece of scrap metal which has floated in space for thousands of years. The reactor had shut down a long time ago. There are marks of the laser shots on the walls. The equipment was all smashed. They found the decayed skeletons of people who died horribly defending the frontier of humanity in almost every room. And only one cryptic message sent to the headquarters implied that something was wrong. Save us. We just want to die. I finished the story and looked at Ulyana. Her face was concealed by darkness. So that's the story. I blew out the light. Oh dear. Yes. Ulyana shrieked, rose up, and threw herself towards me. We fell on the floor. What's up with you? Nothing. Her voice sounded very scared. Looks like my story hit the jackpot. I mentally congratulated myself. Ulyana wasn't having fun, though. She embraced me, shivering, and sobbed. What's wrong with you, you silly thing? I patted her head. It's just a story, you know. It's not real. You and your stupid stories! Ulyana called it up to me more. Were you that scared? Yeah. Frankly, I didn't expect such an honest answer from her. Everything's all right. Time heals all wounds. She'll calm down. Listen, Semyon. What? Never mind. It's nothing. She buried her face in my chest. Minutes passed. Okay, I understand. Maybe we should go. Did she fall asleep? I listened. Ulyana snored quietly. Hey, wake up! Can you even fall asleep from fear? Wake up, I said! No reaction. I tried to stand up. Ulyana certainly didn't weigh more than 40 kilograms, but imagine yourself lying under such a weight. It's really not easy to stand up. You would think that Ulyana was dead if not for her breathing. I certainly would make more effort, but then I'd wake her up and it would start all over again. Such an inevitable situation. There is an option to wait until she wakes up by herself, though. She certainly won't sleep all day until morning after such a story. I looked through the window and stared at the starry sky. I wonder if there really is a distant outpost with the ghost crew. And I slowly closed in a moment and I fell asleep.